Hi everyone, welcome back to Unicorn Dust Designs. It is Sammy and today we are going to be working on some romantic DIYs. Like I said, these are going to be DIYs that transition smoothly into the spring season. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into the DIYs today. All right, y'all. Today we're going to be starting with some books from Dollar Tree. If you saw one of my latest hauls, I got these recently and they're absolutely beautiful. I cannot rip books for the life of me. And so some of my subscribers suggested getting the covers of these books, putting them inside out. So right here, I'm just putting it inside out and then I'm kind of bending those edges just so it goes on a little easier to the book. And then we're going to put this back onto the book. This way we don't have to paint the actual book. We don't have to rip pages or bindings off, and you get a clear blank canvas to work with. So I did this with all three of these Dollar Tree books. Made sure that they were on there nice and tight. And now we're going to take, this is Blush Pink by Rust-Oleum. I don't know why I have such a large can of this color, but I do, and we're going to be using it a lot for these romantic DIYs. So I'm just applying this with a paintbrush, and this went on these covers so smoothly. Oh my gosh, it was just so easy. So I painted the front and the side, and then I'm going to take my heat gun and dry that off first, and then we're going to go ahead after that and we are going to flip our book on its opposite side and we'll paint that one too. So for the next book, I'm going to go ahead and get these little, they're like those bubble stickers. You could get them at Dollar Tree. And I wanted to do a little design. There was no rhyme or reason for what I was doing. I just wanted to put a little bit of detail on the binding of this book. So I'm going to go ahead and just play around with this, have fun with it, y'all. You could even use rhinestones, whatever it may be. Then I got Cashew by Waverly, and I'm going to go ahead and paint this book as well. And this color is just perfect if you're going for a vintage vibe. And that's exactly what I was going for. Romantic. You're going to hear me say that a million times. So I need to make sure we get in between all of that beading. None of them popped off. They were on there really good. And we're just going to go ahead, take the heat gun to that, flip it around. You're done with that one. So now we're going to go on to the third book. Now I didn't want the cashew and I didn't want the same pink. So I mixed the two together. And oh my gosh, it gave me this beautiful dusty rose, like mauve color. I don't know. It turned out so good. I was so happy with the color. So now we're going to get into decorating our books. Okay, so I'm taking a doily. You can get these from Dollar Tree. You could even use real ones and that would look stunning too. And I'm just taking Antique Wax by Waverly, and I am just brushing it in. I'm making sure I'm not oversaturating this paper. I don't want it going, soft on me here. So we are just going in with a light coat and just making sure we blend it in. And this allows you to see all those beautiful details in that doily. So now I'm taking my BFFE, my jumbo glue stick from Dollar Tree, and we're going to use this to attach our doily. And it worked so great. So great. I didn't want to mess around with the Mod Podge. I didn't want a glossy texture on my books. So the glue stick was amazing. And this just added the right amount of detail we needed. And I apologize, you guys, about my lighting. I am getting new lighting. I promise. It just looks so dark. Okay. So now we're taking these, what are these? Rhinestone stickers, beaded stickers, I don't know, from Dollar Tree. Oh, hanker doodle. And we are going to apply these to the binding. Now, I played around with these because, sorry, you guys got to see my big forehead. I played around with these because at first I kind of staggered them so that they weren't covering all of the binding. But then you'll see I end up going back in because I'm going to do this on the top and the bottom of our book. And I go back in and I add a little bit more to the sides because it just looked really off. Geez, that forehead. Okay, so after you're done with those stickers, we're going to get these wood sticker cutouts from Dollar Tree. And I'm using the Waverly Antique Wax. Now I'm taking the, why am I drawing a blank on what this is called? Mica powder from Arteza, and this is in rose pink, and I just wanted to add like a little zhuzh, a little sparkle to this book. So I just rubbed that into the wet antique wax, and now we're going to apply this to the top and the bottom. Now, this is where I was like, oh my gosh, this book is going so wrong. It was not looking how I wanted it to, but it all comes together, y'all. And now that book with the doily, I got this napkin ring from dazzle.com, totallydazzled.com. And I just took the ring off, applied it there. Now we're putting our books together. And this is where the one that I didn't think was going to come out good worked out, because it was kind of a blank canvas. So it allowed me to play around with this rose in its place. And with the rose, I took, why am I having antique wax? And I basically distressed it down. So it almost looks like this rose that's like about to wilt, you know, it has like those little brown tinges on the petals, and I cannot wait to show you how this turned out. Look at how beautiful, and you guessed it, romantic these look. And y'all, these can transition into Easter so easily, and they're just stunning. I mean, there's just so much detail in them, and you can really do these any way that you like. I hope you guys love this. Enjoyed the first DIY. I am super excited to show you the rest of these. I'm sure you saw the thumbnail, and seriously, everything came out so gorgeous. It turned out way better than I had hoped for, and I'm super excited to show you the rest of them. Again, I'll be doing romantic DIYs, and when I say romantic, I'm like soft pinks and creams and stuff that is going to transition easily into the spring season, you know, like Easter colors. You can mix some turquoise in, some purples in with it later, so that way you can get a lot of use out of these DIYs. So I also want to point out, you guys, that I am collabing today with Danielita AF. I sounded really fancy saying that. She is an adorable person. She has a heart of gold, and her content is so fun, y'all. She does crafting with cocktails, which I love that. So she does some DIYs and she breaks away for a little bit. She'll show you how to make a cocktail, and then she'll get back into her DIYs. I think it's so new. It's so fresh. Definitely check her out. I'm going to leave her channel down in the description box to show her some love. Let her know I sent you. And with that said, let's go ahead and get back into these romantic DIYs. Bye, y'all. Alrighty, this is our next one. Do you guys remember this wood round? This is from a previous winter DIY video. And this is an 18-inch wood round. I get them from Home Depot. They are kind of scarce right now. You just gotta be patient and hunt them down. That's why I'm reusing this one. And I am going to take a Linen by Rust-Oleum, and this is chalk paint. And we are using a sponge roller to apply our paint. Now, the reason I use a sponge roller is because if you were to use a paintbrush, it would add texture to your paint. So then when you go to lay your stencil, that texture would in return give you bleeds underneath your stencil. So this sponge gives you a nice smooth finish on your base color. So I just go in with one coat of the white. I like that you could still see the wood grain in there. Then I'm taking antique wax and a chippy brush, and I am just going over this baby and distressing it. Y'all know I do not like stark white, and for this romantic vintage feel I was going for, it really needed something more than just white. So after that is all dry, we are gonna go in with some painter's tape, and it could be any painter's tape. This one I think is from Menards. And we are gonna go ahead and create our lines. So I'm going to go ahead and take one piece, and this is going to be like our base here. Then I'm going to go ahead and start stacking these on using this smaller piece as my guide as to how wide I want it and to keep the lines straight on my wood round. So I'm going to continue this all the way down, as you can see. And you guys, this gives you perfect lines. It looks awesome, let me tell you. Okay, so once we're done with that, I'm gonna go back in with Blush Rose from Rust-Oleum, Blush Pink, and I'm gonna go back in again with a roller. And when you guys, that's my, I think it's called a paint dozer, and I got it at Menards. Okay, so when you are going in on top of a stencil or on top of like painter's tape like this, do not push the sponge down. When you push your sponge down, you're pushing that paint underneath your stencil, underneath your painter's tape, and you are going to get massive bleeds. So just make sure your sponge has enough paint on it to where you can just nicely roll it over, and you should not have to be able to press down on that sponge. So after I'm done with the first coat, I do go back in and do a second one because I missed a couple of spots. If I didn't miss spots, I probably would have been good with just one coat. So now after this, I'm going to go in with my heat gun. I do recommend using a blow dryer on cool setting. So do as I say, not as I do. I just could not find my blow dryer. And now look at these crisp, clean lines. It's so beautiful. I love wood browns. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and dry that off. I let that set overnight. And then I am taking my stencil that I created on my Cameo. And this is Aura Mask 813 stencil vinyl. It is great for placing over a painted sign. So we're going to go ahead and put that. And then you guys, I'm going to peel this back. This is Vinyl Ease Transfer tape. And all of this stuff is in my Amazon store link down in the description box. And then I get super professional and fancy with it and tape it off with basically my trash. But hey, I'm not wasting materials. But looking at this now, I'm like, girl, you are a mess. You are a mess. Good thing you're not like giving professional classes, because yeah, you probably should not do it. This is probably like how you should not do it, but you know what? It works. It works. Okay, so now I sprayed that with Rust-Oleum Metallic Gold, and let me tell you, that color looks so high-end. It doesn't look like a cheap gold, and it dries so fast. So here we are. We're almost, sorry, I'm playing with the lighting. It's so terrible. I'm sorry, you guys. I should get lights by like mid-January, I think. Okay. Ooh, she's beautiful. Okay, now we're going in with polyacrylic. Polyacrylic is great for indoor use in high traffic areas. So if you are using this as a tray, it's fabulous. I do put 2 coats on. I only show one. And just make sure it has like a watery consistency. So you only need a little on your brush, and just make sure you are covering the whole thing, because when it dries, if you've missed a spot, you'll definitely see it. Now, when you apply it, you will get some on the side. Make sure you go around the side and brush it kind of like off to the side. That way you don't get cloudy globs that dry there. And then y'all, that is it. You are done. And hello. Oh my gosh, like I am obsessed with this, and the way that I decorated this dresser is, it's stunning. Let me know if you're gonna try and recreate this, because, okay, you guys, so really quickly, I wanted to tell you about these Rose Forever New York roses. These are the long-lasting, 100% natural, fresh roses, and they use natural oils to preserve the roses. And let me tell you, they are stunning, and they come in tons of shades. They come in like round boxes, square boxes, and let me tell you, they would just make the perfect gift for Valentine's Day. And I'm going to drop the link down below, because they are giving you $15 off your purchase with my link down below and code. So definitely check those out. And now, y'all, I cannot wait to tell you about Danielita AF. So I am collabing with her today. She is a newer YouTuber. She has very eclectic and fun DIYs. She also does, which I wish I would have thought of first, crafting with cocktails. So she does her DIYs, she breaks away, makes the cocktail, and then she goes back to her DIY. So please make sure and go show her love. All right, you guys, our last one today is one of the wood cutouts. I showed you this on my most recent Dollar Tree haul. And I'm gonna go ahead, take the stickers off, and then I have to sand it. These things are really rough. Make sure you check these out before you buy them, because this one had a big crack on the side and it had like a big flat dent on the side as well. Don't know what happened there. So I tried sanding it down as best as I could, but it was rough. It was really rough. So we're just going to work with what we got. Okay. So tried sanding that down. You could get a sanding block at the Dollar Tree, clean up our workspace with our little ladybug friend. Now I'm taking Cashew by Waverly again. And again, you guys, all these romantic colors, I'm probably going to be using this same color concept throughout videos. If you guys want more videos like this, please drop a heart emoji down in the comments so I know to do more of these Valentine's Day videos. So after that is dry, I forget that I need a hole in this because it's going to be a beaded garland. So I'm just going to take my drill, create a nice hole. It came out so super clean. Yay for that. Then we're going to go ahead and finish that back off. We're going to go ahead and let that dry. And then we're going to move on to our next step. Okay, so next we are going to take our wooden sticker things from Dollar Tree. And again, we're going to take the blush pink. And these you could use like ballerina pink from Waverly. I mean, again, y'all, this is just inspiration. So you do the colors you like and enjoy. This is definitely the color scheme I'm sticking with for Valentine's Day decor. And we're going to go ahead and paint this little cutie, and we're going to do 2 coats of that. Now I'm taking this fabric, lace, I don't know what it is, I've had forever, and I'm going to cut the like remnants off the side, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on top. And then of course me, being extra like I am, I was like, oh, maybe I could cut this off, put it on top of, and then I was like, no, you don't even know it's a heart. It covers the whole darn thing. That would have looked cute. Okay, anyways, so we are going to go put that on top of this heart, and I'm kind of folding it back to get it as tight as I can. Then I'm going to go in with plaster from Waverly, and this is a great color because it's not stark white, but it's kind of like the perfect creamy color. So I'm taking my stencil brush and I'm just dabbing on top of that. Just dab over here. And this is going to create a really pretty like lace texture to our wood heart. I thought it needed something, I couldn't just leave it plain. And this just gave me like full on romantic vibes for sure. Romantic. I'm going to say that a million times. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and glue our heart to the middle right here. So cute, already coming together. All right, now we need to move on to our beads. So if y'all have watched my past videos, usually I will put my beads on floral wire like I do here, and I will just go and hold it up and then spray paint my beads, and it just makes it so much easier. Well, I wanted to use my chalk paint colors, so I couldn't do that. So I am stringing these on my floral wire. And you guys, I hopped on the bus. All right, the struggle bus was here. I hopped on it, stayed on it for a little bit, you'll see. And I am trying to hold these, and I'm like, this isn't working. Then they start popping off. And I'm like, okay, girl, you need to get yourself together, which we know never happens. So I try to kind of tighten them up, and then I start more like dabbing, which I actually really liked because it gave the chalk paint like a texture, almost like a stucco texture. Does that make sense? And so I just went with that throughout these beads, and I think I used 9 of these, and I have the variety pack of beads. They are listed in my Amazon store link down below, so check that out. And so yeah, let's finish these up. They don't want to see you do this for like a million years. Okay, so we're finishing these up. Then I'm gonna take my bigger ones. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so funny here. So I'm watching this. Even when I was doing it, I laughed my booty off. So I'm holding these, right? And then Pretty Woman moment where she's trying to get the snails and it just like pops out of my finger. Oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard. So anyways, this is the color plaster that I'm doing these bigger wood beads in. And I'm just gonna do 2 of them here. And it's so weird because these wood beads, it's almost like they were sucking up the chalk paint, because once I would get around to the other side, the side that I had just painted was already dry. So, I mean, I'm not mad about it whatsoever. But yeah, so taking more of this random fabric, I'm gonna go ahead and cut strips with my Dollar Tree rotary blade. If you guys are able to find that, pick it up because it is actually really good. So I'm just cutting that on my Arteza little cutting mat over here. And then, come on, let's get, I think I got like 4 strips out of it. And then we're also going to take some Dollar Tree twine and we're gonna create our tassel. Now I do this the hard way. So I'm wrapping this, not yet, wrapping this around my scraper, and then I'll add like one of the lace pieces and then wrap that around so it's all intertwined together. So we're gonna keep on going around till you get the thickness you want. Now, here's where I mess up. So usually I would tie around where I'm holding first, but I was like, I am not gonna be able to find the middle of this ever again. So sorry if I'm not explaining this well, but I just overcomplicated it when I made it, that I was like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna explain this? But you guys have probably seen this a million times. Okay, so now that's when I tied it around. We're gonna cut the bottom loop off, not off, but you know what I'm saying, in half. So you get those little tassels. And now I'm gonna take another long strand of twine and I folded it in half so that I basically have 2 strands. And then I'm just gonna tie my tassel to this because I did it the hard way. Usually I would not do it like this, okay? So continuing on, I'm gonna go ahead and get the 2 strips of twine, and then I'm going to cover the ends of it with tape. Hank, stop. Sorry, you guys. And we're gonna roll that up over here. Sorry, I had to take a drink. My throat was getting scratchy. All right, now we're gonna feed, oh man, he just slobbered all over me. Sorry. You guys, I'm a mess. Okay, so there we go. We are feeding our beads through the twine. Good thing this is the end of the video. And then we're gonna go ahead and just tie 2 knots on the top of this just so your beads don't escape you like they did me a million times. And then we are just going to feed the twine through our little wood plaque here. And then I'm gonna tie 2 knots in that, and your beaded garland wood bead thing, your beaded garlands, yeah, I think that's it, is going to be complete. Thank you guys for sticking around for all my madness. Seriously, I appreciate you guys so much because I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, you know, but I'm somebody's shot of whiskey and that's all that matters. Okay, and look at how beautiful that turned out. Like I said, it's soft, it's elegant, it's romantic. You can use this for Easter and spring as well, not just Valentine's. And I absolutely love it. Thank you guys for being here with me today. I appreciate y'all and enjoy the bloopers. Let's try to do this. I like how I curled it into my hair together. Okay. Just do that little. Just kidding. Yeah, then you're gonna wipe off your makeup. Okay. Oh, no, I don't have to. I always forget this. I feel like I'm the worst YouTuber ever. You know, like the whole Hey, if you're enjoying my content, hit that bell up above and make sure to subscribe to my videos, okay? All right, see there, I said it, it's done. I mean, I did it like way later, but it's done. So if you're still here, wherever the buttons are, press them. Make sure that the bell one says all, and then you got your girl for like life. All right, you guys. All right, bye, bye, bye. That was good. I need some crest white strips. Oh yeah. You need some crest white strips. Oh. Don't sing. You get demonetized over here. All right. Next one.